Jermaine, did you watch the highlights or did you watch the Argentina game?
Yeah, I saw the highlights. The
So the
highlights were,
highlights,
yeah,
man. I watched it. I watched the full game. It was at 2 a.m.
yeah,
But I'm very happy that I watched that game. Yeah, Messi. I couldn't believe what I was watching. I actually couldn't believe what I was watching. I think he turns 39 in 7 days, and yeah, that's a legacy performance. That's what that was. Because there was even he had a goal disallowed
yeah.
at the beginning of the game, and then there was another one that like had a good chance as well. But hat trick, two ridiculous goals, man. And it's like it was beautiful watching it because just like in the last World Cup, the whole team was based around getting the best out of Messi.
Yeah.
And it's crazy. Like, obviously, you think, okay, of course you're going to do that. But it really took until these last two World Cups for a manager to be smart enough to actually do this properly for
Yeah,
Argentina, right?
yeah.
And even still, at nearly 39, it produced something amazing. It was just a great watch. Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
I just saw the highlights, but I think based on
Hmm.
the highlights, it kind of goes to show Messi's greatness as well. Because the thing that I would say about Messi is that he moves around the pitch like he doesn't move around the pitch at speed, but he moves around the pitch like he's always looking to move and make space and try and create different angles all over the place. And then he's got the teammates that are willing to put in the shift for him. Like I think it works nicely. Like especially now, he's not the striker. He's essentially back in his Barcelona role, where he kind of just roams the pitch from the right hand side, wanders wherever he needs to wander, and then he's got the teammates. He's got Lautaro, Almada, De Paul. He's got guys that will just put in the shift and do whatever needs to be done to get him that victory. So yeah, I was quite impressed with the team actually. I'll be honest. Like based on the highlights, I was quite impressed with what I could see and the way they were playing and the way they were moving around. Like it was good in my opinion.
Yeah. Like you're spot on because those guys, like yeah, whether it's Martinez or Alvarez came on afterwards for him, they're making runs, constantly making runs, right? Yeah, Almada, the pool, all playing unselfish roles, running a lot, and then just playing, simple passes where Messi's the center point, the centerpiece of everything, right? And yeah, I think a lot of credit needs to go to Scaloni, the manager. I think we're at a point now we've seen enough evidence to show that what he's doing at international level, I don't think anyone else is doing, any other managers, because whether it's the last World Cup, Copa America, they're winning everything at the moment, and they're doing it in a style that you don't really see international teams playing. Quick passing, quick pace, direct in terms of you're getting the ball from the back to front quickly, but it's good football. It's not like over the it suits the players around them. They don't have the biggest team or anything. I thought Martinez at centre back, Lisandro was amazing. Like you watch that and guys that don't really see and understand how good he is on the ball. He's the best centre back in the world on the ball, and he's using that to his advantage now as well. Yeah, I think he's he's picked a squad yet again that gets the best out of Messi, and this was an all-timer performance. I think Messi might still be the best player in the world. It really like
It's
he actually
interesting
might still be.
because I think if you wanna compare this Argentina or the way Argentina play currently with Scaloni as the manager, and you compare it to Portugal, where Portugal would like to. Now, I just want to make the comparison, but
Yeah,
Portugal they have Bruno Fernandes. I mean, sorry, not Bruno Fernandes. They have Ronaldo, but they can't seem to get the best out of Ronaldo. And I think it's of course like people want to blame Ronaldo and say, oh yeah, he's a pensioner, 40, 41 years old, whatever. Like, but for me, at the end of the day, the team is not built around Ronaldo. They haven't given Ronaldo the best opportunity to do the things that we know he can do. So that's the difference between, for me, in my opinion, the difference between Argentina and Portugal. I just think Scaloni gives Messi every chance to be the best player he can be, whereas Martinez doesn't necessarily do that with Ronaldo.
I do agree with that actually. I think I think they might think they are when they're playing like their midfield with Vitinha, Neves, and Bruno, and they might
Yeah,
think, oh, this is perfectly set up for Ronaldo. But as I explained in our preview vid, Bruno Ronaldo, it doesn't get the best out of Ronaldo. It never will, just because
no,
of what Bruno's skill set is. Right? While he does work hard, he doesn't have that ability that allows Ronaldo to just concentrate on being a poacher right now. And yeah,
yeah,
if they could set up around that, then I think Ronaldo could score goals. You
hmm
know, I'm not going to be unfair to him. He's got his game now coming up today against Congo. And you know, you've just had Messi score a hat trick. Mbappe scored twice. Haaland scored twice yesterday. Time for this is his moment now. You know, let's see. You
boy,
know, let's see.
yeah,
Let's see if how he can respond.
hmm
But yeah, I think that Portugal Congo game could be interesting actually. Yeah, but yeah, I thought Argentina after watching that, I'm definitely putting them back in the contenders bracket. I'm putting
oh,
them
okay,
in that top four teams um that have a chance of doing something in this tournament, like genuinely winning it. Sorry,
okay,
I think I've still put in France, Spain, and England above because I think their resources are just better all round. But the way Argentina are set up, they're not going to be easy for anyone to beat. They're the team that have the most chemistry, and they've it's just largely the same team that played last time. So they all know each other really well, and they're all fighting for Messi. They've got a very clear style of play and a very clear objective when they're playing. So I do think they've got a chance. Um, looking at France, then as well, they beat Senegal yesterday, and Mbappe had his moment, but I wouldn't say it was just like Messi with Argentina, where it was just one man and everything based around him. I think especially Elise deserves a big amount of credit for France's performance yesterday. What did you think?
yeah. I think. Well, I watched most of the game. I didn't get to see all of it. But from what I could see, I think there were a lot of opportunities created for Mbappe. Um, and he did fluff his lines in the first half. He wasn't like, I don't know if it was him I don't know, he just wasn't able to things weren't going the way he needed them to go. But it's the first half. You got another half to go. So um I think he was feeling a little more. I don't know. I think that maybe in the first half, their game plan was probably a little bit obvious. Like, okay, win the ball and then get Mbappe off as soon as possible. Whereas second half, I think they decided, you know what, let's not rely on that. Let's not rely on the pace of Mbappe. Let's try a different way where we can move around. And you can see by the first goal was good. I like the first goal that Mbappe scored, but the second goal that Mbappe scored,
Mhm.
the second goal that Mbappe scored was really good. He received the ball. I think he received the ball from I don't know. I can't remember who he received the ball from, but he received the ball in a dangerous area, and he just said, "You know what? Let me just have a shot."
Is this the last goal?
Yeah, 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 yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
his
Yeah.
last goal. Yeah, I think his last goal was really. I can't remember who it was actually, but who played it. I think it was Rabiot. It was Rabiot.
Rabiot, it was
It
Rabiot,
was
yeah.
Rabiot. Yeah, it was a
And
good pass.
it
Yeah,
was a good pass from Rabiot as well. Sometimes you talk about Rabiot a little bit, but no, Rabiot he's not a bad player. He's just I just feel like some of the other players are better than him. But in terms of finding Mbappe for that goal, that was a very good pass. And yeah, Mbappe just said, you know what, let me just because a lot, we don't see Mbappe take that kind of shot often, and when he does it, it's come off a few times. It's not the first time. So yeah, that was a very good goal as
yeah,
well. Yeah.
yeah. That was a great goal. I think that pass from Elise for the first goal
Oh
was
yeah, yeah,
immaculate. Like
yeah, yeah.
yeah, and I thought Elise was great. I think he really kind of took the scruff of the game. You
Yeah.
know, he kind of he played in, especially in that second half, like a guy was like, okay, I can put this team on my back. I'm gonna run everything. A lot of crazy passes. His passing bag is just out of this world. Like his
Mm-hmm.
accuracy, his execution. I think yeah, and you see with someone like him, he can play off the right, but then I think they moved him more central.
Yeah.
In moments in the second half. Um, and when you got people like him, we got people like Due who can move in different positions. Due can play both sides, can even play in the middle. It, it it gives Deschamps a lot of options to move to mix things up for the opposition, right? If something's not working, all right, there's something else you can do, and not necessarily with substitutions. Although they do have a great option off the bench as well. Barcola,
Of
of course,
course.
came off the bench and scored as well. I thought Dembele was probably the one that didn't have his best game, but
Oh
you
yeah, I
know,
saw some stats.
um,
He didn't really. I don't think he had any touches in
yeah,
the opposition's box. Or
he
yeah,
wasn't really
yeah,
involved like that. Yeah, so I would say still, obviously, he's a great player, the current Ballon d'Or holder, and Senegal are a very good team. That's the thing to also remember. So,
yeah,
I think that's an impressive performance. Just to note, so Messi after his hat trick is now the joint all-time record goal scorer for the World Cup with 16 goals. He leveled with Miroslav Klose, so that's impressive. But then Mbappe is only 2 goals behind that.
yeah,
And, he's 27 years old, right? He's still got the rest of this competition where I think he can definitely overtake Klose at least. Maybe
yeah.
maybe overtake Messi. That'll be an interesting race. And he's got more World Cups to come, you'd think, as well. So that's a very impressive record. And it's this kind of thing where I feel like sometimes Mbappe, people start to, you know, chip away at his legacy a bit. Two seasons where he's not him struggled, but Real Madrid have struggled since he's joined. And then the fact that he left PSG and immediately they won 2 Champions Leagues. It's not a great
Yeah.
look, you know.
I understand. I understand it. But
Mhm.
at the same time, look, you've got World Cup winner and then a World Cup finalist in the next World Cup. He scored a hat trick in the World Cup. I understand, innit? I understand people might not like his style, might not like the way he might be perceived in a certain way. They call him the dictator and things like that. But me personally, if I had a teammate like that who's scoring hat tricks in the World Cup finals, I personally wouldn't say anything about them. Like, that's my guy,
Yeah,
take us to the top.
exactly.
So that's kind of the way I look at Mbappe. And yeah, like you say, Messi had his 200th appearance yesterday, and he got the 16th World Cup goal. I think Mbappe's only had 100 appearances for France, and he's got his 14th World Cup goal. So like I think yesterday he broke a few records. I think he match or did he beat Just Fontaine's record for World Cup
Yeah,
goals for France?
yeah, for France, yeah, and he overtook Olivier Giroud's all-time France record. So now he's
Yeah.
France all-time record goal scorer.
Yeah,
So
so yeah, man, and like you say, that as far as I can see, that was probably the toughest group match that they have. So
yeah,
there's a lot more to come from Mbappe
yeah,
just in this group stage. So yeah,
yeah,
it's got to be
yeah,
interesting.
for sure. I think the World Cup, people shouldn't lose, the focus of like how important the World Cup is. Like the World Cup, just showing up at this tournament is so big when it comes to like legacy and thing,
Hmm.
because people are gonna remember 2018, that final in 2022, and then he's got off to a great start here. I think Messi and Mbappe truly put on legacy performances yesterday, and reminded everyone just how good, because this is the moment to step up, right? The World Cup is the moment, right? At the end of the day, there are other competitions that of course matter, but it's the biggest. It's the biggest, right? And you did mention their group. The other team in their group, of course, that might be a challenge for France is Norway,
Oh
and
yeah, of
Haaland.
course.
Haaland
Oh
got
yeah,
two goals. That was it's typical Haaland goals.
yeah.
He's just a killer, man. You can't give him an opportunity, and yeah, Norway looked decent, I would say. They, Iraq showed some things. They had some real technical ability.
Yeah,
That
yeah,
that's
yeah.
that's what I would say.
I saw some of the shots that they were taking, and yeah, Iraq looked like you can never. People talk about playing at the top level, playing Champions League and this and that. Listen, Asia, they have their own style, they have their own Champions League, and like the way these guys were taking the ball in control, like they're confident. They're confident and they have quality. They are very dangerous teams. So just because these guys have never seen Champions League football, never, these guys can play. They're very, very dangerous. I can't remember, I don't know the name of the player. Iraq, they have one guy. They had one player. I've blanked on his name, but I think he was a midfielder, and I was very impressed with that guy. I was like, okay, okay,
Yeah,
okay. These guys
yeah,
are
those,
they've got
yeah.
ability. They've got tons of
Mhm.
ability. So yeah,
Yeah, they play at all different clubs, but
Yeah.
like there's a few still in Iraq, some in lower leagues in Europe, but yeah, I was impressed by them as well. And Norway, yeah, Norway France should be an interesting game. I think we'll learn more about what Norway really have against France. Um, the other game yesterday was Austria beating Jordan. Again, Jordan showed flashes as well. I did watch like the first half of that game.
But yeah, I
Um,
completely missed that game. I didn't see it.
yeah. So Austria looked okay, I would say. It's not really like a serious. I feel like Argentina when they face them should beat them. Yeah, but I walk away from yesterday's games. You know, the standard has been set for the big performers,
Yeah.
the big teams. I think France and Argentina will be contenders. We haven't seen, obviously, we didn't see what we needed to from Spain, but I'm assuming next couple of games they'll be better when Yamal and Williams are starting. I think, I think the standard has been set now, and I guess the question, looking at today, is can Portugal, can England, can they respond? Can Ghana? No, I'm joking. No, but yeah, just briefly on today's games. Thoughts? You got Portugal against Congo. You've got England against Croatia, Ghana against Panama. Yeah, thoughts?
I think the Portugal game is gonna be quite interesting, like you said. I think it's gonna be quite difficult for Portugal, quite difficult for Ronaldo. Let me say, because it's Congo, very aggressive team, very tough. A lot of these African teams, they play a very tough, very hard style, and you need to be able to find ways. Unless you're able to match them, you need to find ways to kind of get around and kind of outsmart them. I would say. Of course, Ronaldo's got the experience; he's got the nous, but I think the rest of the team needs to be able to find a way to get the ball to him. Let's say. I don't want to say that Portugal are not going to have a good game, and I don't want to say that because I would like Ronaldo to be up there with Mbappe and Messi at this World Cup, but it's difficult for me to see a conclusion where he's scoring goals and he's having loads of shots on goal and he's a constant threat with if the rest of the team, if like. I
I
just
feel you.
personally, you understand what I'm
Yeah,
saying? Like,
yeah.
I don't want Bruno Fernandes to be playing with Ronaldo. Like, I understand the
Right.
season that he's had, 21 assists, yada yada yada. I understand, but I think they need something else in that position. Like, me personally, I would directly take out Bruno Fernandes and put in Bernardo Silva, and then have or even a João Felix or somebody else that has a bit more movement, and you can give them the ball in a difficult situation, and they're not going to. They're not going to feel threatened when being
Right.
pressured
They're,
under the
they're
ball.
gonna they're gonna be able to be patient. They're gonna wait
Yeah,
for Ronaldo to be in the perfect position before he receives the ball.
that's what
Right.
Ronaldo needs.
Yeah.
I don't think like people talk about 21 assists. Okay, that's you have to look at the skills of the guys around you and other, and I think Ronaldo would benefit if he had guys who are more confident and more, like you say, more patient on the ball to be able to create angles and create spaces for the ball to get into the box of him. But that's just my opinion, innit? And maybe I'm
Yeah.
wrong. Hopefully I'm wrong.
Yeah.
Hopefully he can score some goals and put himself in and help his legacy.
What I see is them probably losing the ball a lot more than people are gonna expect.
Yeah.
Just a lot of attacks that just go to waste. But they do have some, individual qualities, so that there's always the threat of that. I just don't think they'll be as fluent a team as people might expect because they see Vitina, they see John Neves, etc. But so yeah, it should be an interesting game. I think Congo have a chance for sure, depending on the lineup, because their manager can be a bit iffy with their lineups. And then England, Croatia. Yeah.
I mean, again, Croatia's another team full of experience. They've got some very good young players as well. Is Perisic in the squad?
Don't think so.
Okay, I mean, Perisic.
Yeah,
I mean, that's an
check that
interesting one.
Yeah.
If he is 37-year-old winger, I don't know. Like, I think right now they don't have the level of players. Don't get me wrong, they have some good players. They have Budimir up front. Budimir scored a few goals this season.
He is in the squad. He's in the squad.
Oh,
So
okay, Perisic is in the squad.
Yeah.
I know Budimir. I think he scored 18 goals in the league this season. So they've got players of confidence, and they have very experienced players. Modric, Kovacic. But I think if England plays their best lineup against Croatia, I don't think Croatia should have a chance to beat England. That's just how I feel about it. I feel like England this is gonna sound quite bad for a lot of people, but under Southgate, if I was to give Southgate the opportunity to pick a squad to play against this Croatia squad, I think we would look a lot better than Croatia. I'm not very confident with this team, but again, let's just see what Tuchel has in store for us, because historically he's the guy that he does things and he says things that people might not like, but he's got, for some reason, he's got the profile, and he's got the people speak about him that way, so the reputation. So yeah, so let's see if it's worth it then.
Yeah, I mean, this is his moment, right? All the build up, all the preparation of the talk of him doing things his way and all of that stuff. This is the moment where we see if he can back it up. And you know what, England have a great 14, 15 players. If you ignore the certain decisions she made with the rest of the squad, if everybody does stay fit, no reason they shouldn't be a competitor, and it should be able to win this game with ease. In my opinion, not with ease, but I think you should be able to have a convincing win against a Croatia side if you're going to be a team that really does something in the later part of the tournament.
Of course.
And lastly, just with Ghana, must win. Panama,
I think the lineup. This is the lineup that we see in this game is going to define the rest of the tournament, because Panama should be the easiest team. That should be our easiest game in the group. So if the coach somehow decides to go super defensive, then we already know what position we're going to be in come the end of this. I don't think we're going to do very well. But if he has a go with the players that we have some good attacking players. Fatal. If these guys get time on the pitch and they get enough time on the pitch, I think we can cause Panama a whole heap of problems. We can be very, very dangerous for them. So yeah, that's what I would like to see. But I don't know if Carlos Cruz he's not a young man, He's
so from a different time.
Yeah,
but I'm very curious to see this lineup. Hopefully, we get as many of those guys you just named on the pitch. That's pretty much all I want. If we've got that quality on the pitch, it's going to be tough for a team at the level of Panama to deal with that over the course of 90 minutes, right? So I just want as many of those guys. Hopefully, Jordan Ayres on the bench. Not holding my breath on that one, but
hopefully,
that's the hope. And then hopefully we win. And there is one more game, but I'll probably only watch Colombia, Uzbekistan if I'm in the mood after the Ghana one. Depending on how I'm feeling after that one. Yeah, but after today, we'll be done with match day 1, and we'll be able to take stock and look ahead to match day 2. With fresh eyes, and we'll break everything down from there.
Okay.